Welcome to the Pylon to Pylon podcast, where we love football and hate your opinion. Special episode here between the pylons. I am joined by Jake Ellenbogen. I probably butchered that last name, but from the Downtown Rams, owner and podcaster of the Downtown Rams as well. And then I also have my new friend here, Trey from Fansided, that writes for them. How you doing, guys?
Doing good.
Doing well, man. And you got my name right, so you're all good.
Perfect. So there's a lot to talk about. This quick episode is really about the Chiefs and this whole situation that's been going on. And we just learned that he just got released, but let's kind of break down what happened earlier today when the video released. What did you guys really think when you first saw the video? First reactions?
First reaction, this sucks. Because you already knew kind of what was going to happen. So as soon as the video came out, it was like, well, you know what the next step is. And it was just a matter of, will the NFL actually care and actually show that like they care about, you know, when they always talk about domestic violence, like they care about this stuff. Like, will they actually show it this time? That was the whole thing for me.
What about you, Jake?
Yeah, so I didn't really want to watch it, but I felt like I had to because I was hearing, all this different stuff. And I have a rule, their job out there is to get the clicks and make it sound as bad as possible. So, my rule of thumb is don't put yourself in that situation. Obviously, it looked as though Kareem Hunt had a long night, probably some drinking involved, and really it was unfortunate. Both parties were wrong, but at the end of the day, you just can't put yourself in that position. You have to walk away. You have to diffuse the situation. And, players, while we don't see it, guys, players get put in this situation more often than people think. And those are the ones that you don't hear about, or those are the ones that you don't see those videos. So, it's a shame, but unfortunately, like we saw, with Ray Rice, you do tend to see, players that get put on video. Those are the ones that stick with people more. People remember those things. I mean, you look at Greg Hardy, and you see exactly, what the NFL is trying to do, with their movement against domestic violence. But I mean, Greg Hardy, you had all that, pretty much all that evidence with Nicole Holder, where, I mean, he brutally beat her, and yet there was no video, so it's like Greg Hardy gets another shot. Or, you look at, Tyreek Hill, we never had a video of that. There hasn't been any issues with that. I mean, obviously people still bring that up and everything, but you haven't really seen anything, any punishment of it or any kind in the NFL. Ezekiel Elliott, we never saw a video. So I think it's a little different because I do want to bring up the fact that while people are going to use Ray Rice was also at the back end of his career. Ray Rice was not the same running back, and he was not immensely talented as Kareem Hunt. So I do believe Kareem Hunt will be picked up, whether it's the right or wrong move. But absolutely awful mistake. I believe he was arrested before for an assault on a man. So, this is kind of strike two. But really what this comes down to is you have it now on video. It was talked about earlier in the year. And from what we're gathering from the Chiefs is that it looks like the Chiefs were told a different story than what came out. And it's just an awful day where unfortunately the Chiefs had to make a decision. They're looking at a possible Super Bowl this year and for the first time in a long time. And I mean, they had to make a tough decision and just release Kareem Hunt. I mean, he was a pretty big contributor for this Super Bowl caliber team. So, I mean, sometimes things are bigger than football, and in this case, this was definitely bigger than football.
I totally agree. And Trey, just to get a question back to you real quick, we saw a lot of controversy about who really knew. Ben Albright came out and said that he had 2 calls in the last 10 minutes. That was about 1:00 Mountain Standard Time from people who knew, both claiming the Chiefs and the league knew about the existence of the video and the Kareem Hunt incident. Do you believe this is more the Chiefs trying to cover their PR aspect of it? Or, where do you think they really knew about it in February? This is kind of new to them.
Obviously, when you're in a public area like a hotel or where Kareem Hunt was, there's going to be some kind of security video. It's just a matter of obtaining it. I did see Benjamin Albright's tweet about, guys telling him that the NFL and the Chiefs knew about said video in February when this occurred. And it was just a matter of had they actually seen the video, or two, like, had they seen it and they just, like you said, do they just want to, save themselves from the PR damage? When Ian Rappaport had a tweet out, he said that that the NFL tried to obtain the video from the hotel, that the hotel said that their policy was that they were only going to release it to the police. And then the NFL said, okay, well, we'll go to the police. And the police never released that video to them. So the NFL went to whoever was involved in the altercation. They didn't hear back from them after leaving multiple messages. So, I mean, I did see a tweet from Jamel Hill, and it kind of goes back to like what we were saying earlier, how, if we don't remember it, we don't really care, quote unquote care, unless there's a video. And she said, if the Chiefs wanted to know more, they would have known more. If they wanted to do more, they would have done more. And basically, this is all in the dark until the TMZ releases the video. And then it's like, okay, now we have to save ourselves. And I think one thing to know, the Chiefs aren't above getting rid of players that, either that would cause, I wouldn't say a rift in the locker room, but, cause distractions in the locker room. Last year they traded Marcus Peters because, he had his noted on the field antics. And there was like, from some people, there were character concerns off the field, even though the people in Kansas City, like, we know what he did for the community and things like that. So we knew he wasn't, as bad as a person as some people made him out to be. But Dwayne Bowe, back in 2012, I believe, he had the citation with the marijuana, and they very nearly cut him back then. So the Chiefs are not above cutting players that get in trouble off the field and, can cause distractions in the locker room. Honestly, I didn't think they would cut Hunt. I didn't think they would cut Hunt after the video came out. But then when, we learned about that he basically lied about his version of the story when they asked him about it in February, then it's kind of on par with what NFL teams do, that when basically you get in trouble in law and you lie to them about it and then they find out what you told them wasn't the truth, they're more than likely to cut you. So once you find out that he didn't tell the truth about what happened, it's not a shock that, they would let him go.
So with all this controversy going on with it, Cleveland PD wouldn't provide the league. And like you said, the Chiefs, if they wanted to know more about it, they would have. When are we going to get to the point where they should have had this investigation already done? They should have punished him, or at least put him on the exempt list until they got more information, instead of just letting him play it out. Jake, let's hear from you first on that.
Well, I do want to piggyback a little bit off of what was just said about Dwayne Bowe. I think also another thing, a key thing that gets lost here, the Chiefs had a running back that went through this. He was accused of strangling a woman in Las Vegas. That was Larry Johnson.
Yeah, Larry Johnson,
one of the best running backs in the league at the time. And he actually came out today. I don't know if you guys saw this. He came out and ripped Kareem Hunt.
Yes, I saw that too.
I made the wrong mistakes, but I also basically taught you guys what, basically I set the example of what not to do, and you basically followed my footsteps. And it's really unfortunate. I feel for the Chiefs organization, not the organization, but more so the fans, because, the fans have had to go through a lot there. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs had that issue. I forget the player, but he had the gun and he killed himself the Chiefs have gone through a lot. The fans have stuck by that team, and they've gone through a ton. And, I feel for them in this regard, because, think about how many people, were so, hyped to get, this kid out of Toledo, and he just absolutely turns into a star. This all started because the guy who's going to start this weekend, Spencer Ware, tore his ACL. He was not supposed to immediately come right into the fold and be a star. And it's really a shame. But, sorry, what were you asking me again, Skyler? I just had to bring that up, and I wanted to make sure that I had that.
No, I was saying, just with the controversy of it, when are we going to start punishing at the beginning of it? He should have went on the exempt list right off the bat instead of just kind of, it's okay. We agree with your side of the story. We're just kind of lay off this investigation. And that's been a couple months. This could have been addressed in the off season and kind of shut out the noise.
Yes, a lot of this seems way fishy for me. I think the NFL knew way more than they're leading on. I think the story that was leaked by Pro Football Talk, I think they're kind of the mouthpiece for the NFL at this point. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but that thing that came out that said the NFL was trying to obtain the videos. I mean, you could easily have a big-time, publisher come out with an article like that to kind of calm everyone down and think, oh, let's reason with the NFL. They were trying to, and it just didn't work. Bottom line is you had all that time. This happened in, February? I mean, Kareem Hunt did this in Cleveland in February. That was not at a team hotel. And what we just witnessed with Reuben Foster, I mean, this is not going to end well. It's really not, because the fact is Kareem Hunt is campaign is very impressive on-field campaign with the Chiefs. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the guys what could have been for the Chiefs. I mean, this is a top 5 running back easily, maybe top 3. And now with all this happening, it's kind of like, what happens? The Chiefs release him, but that's not the end of the Kareem Hunt story. Does he get an opportunity? I mean, he's still a young, elite running back. And to me, guys, I think he gets another shot. And I think whether it's right or wrong, you can't tell me a team, after someone just claimed Reuben Foster, I don't care about the backlash of that. You can't tell me a team that claimed Reuben Foster isn't going to claim the rushing title holder last year. To me, whether it's right or wrong, Kareem Hunt will play another game, and I think the reason for that is because while we do have the video, again, this is not a Ray Rice on the back end of his career. This is a young, elite running back that some team is going to take his PR statement and they're going to be like, okay, he's learned from his mistakes, and they're going to try to make this a feel-good story. And look, guys, I mean, Michael Vick, the dogfighting, I mean, that was awful. We also really never saw video of that, so it is the video aspect and everything that kind of throws everything together. But I still think at the end of the day, Greg Hardy was still able to come back and play. I just think there's too much here where you can't tell me out of one of the 32 teams, it only takes one, you can't tell me that a team isn't going to take a chance on Hunt. I can't, say that that's not going to happen. Now it's up to the NFL. Do you suspend him for a year? They've really cut down on guys like Martavis Bryant smoking marijuana, but, I mean, they're bigger issues. I mean, if you're going to – you don't have an anti-marijuana movement. You have an anti-domestic violence movement. And domestic violence is a huge issue in this country. It's getting worse. So, to me, the NFL really has to put their foot down. They screwed up, and now they have to make it right. And, I mean, I do think Kareem Hunt plays another game, but I wouldn't mind if he's suspended for another year. I mean, he needs to be on the exempt list until the end of the season, and they need to reevaluate this. He clearly needs a break from football. He needs a break from everything to really reevaluate everything he's done. Although, again, it's one of those situations that just sucks because it's like you could have diffused the situation, and I get all that, but you really need to see the NFL do something because they are taking a lot of heat. And like you brought up, Skyler, I mean, they had a lot of time. And the NFL is a powerful organization. They were able to get those texts about Deflategate pretty easily. I just don't buy for a second that, they had a hard time recovering the tapes. I really just don't. And that's really where I stand here is they need to do something, and they need to do it fast because there's a lot of women that watch this sport. There's a lot of women that have been abused in a way. There's a lot of people that have felt the impacts of, such violence and everything in their families and whatnot. People do not take this lightly, and we've seen it, with the national anthem. We've seen people boycott. I'm not saying they're going to lose a ton of viewers, but it's just not good when you're talking about a brand that so many kids and young adults look up to. So that's kind of my stance on that.
With that being said, I want to pull back to you, Trey. I completely agree. It should be zero tolerance for domestic violence in the NFL. And it seems like the rules keep getting flipped depending on whether you smoke weed, domestic violence, Deflategate. I mean, the list goes on, and none of them are just consistent. Where do you stand on? Do you believe the NFL knew about this in February and they're just kind of waiting, playing their cards, to see how it unfolds? Or do you think they actually didn't know?
I find it hard to believe that they didn't know. Just like you guys said, there's no way they didn't know. Because like I said, it's in a public place. So any public place you go to, there's some kind of security cameras, some kind of cameras. Somebody's recording something in 2018. You're just not going anywhere, and nobody's gonna not see what happened. Like I say, it's just a matter of do you want the PR disaster? And obviously the NFL doesn't. The Chiefs don't. Nobody wants a PR disaster. The NFL's their official rules against domestic violence. It's an automatic 6-game suspension. 6-game suspension for your first offense for domestic violence. So I mean, like you guys are saying, he should probably remain on the exempt list for the rest of the season. If they decided to suspend him for the 6 games, and so be it. But it's always a bad look for the NFL when you have incidents that happen. It's November right now, so basically 9-10 months ago, you have incidents happen 9-10 months ago, and then nothing happens until a video comes to light.
And they claim it's new information that was just made to the public today. There's no way this is new information to them.
There's no way. I mean, you can find police reports, even though there were no charges filed. Somebody's got to report about something about what happened. If people scam tapes from hotel security cameras all the time, and not involving involving a situation what happened with Kareem Hunt. It could be something totally unrelated to this, and people find ways to get around the system in everyday life. So the fact that the NFL is trying to say that, we just didn't have access to the tape until it was released by TMZ, it's hard to believe, especially like you said, as powerful of a league as the NFL is. You would think they would find a way to get this done.
And it really aggravates me just how this investigation went. Ian Rappaport tweeted out that the NFL continued its investigation, which included contacting the alleged victims, but they didn't respond to the multiple messages, sources say. If they're not responding, where's that red flag going off in their head? Like, hey, they're trying to protect Kareem Hunt. There's something going on. Why would you just be like, oh, they're not responding? It's probably because they're busy. No, they see it on their phone. They're just wanting to save Kareem Hunt's career.
Somebody's protecting somebody, because you don't, unless you're a bill collector, you're not ignoring multiple calls from the same number. So
exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with all of that. And the thing I go back to is, remember, I mean, I feel like the NFL focuses too much on, and I'm going to bring up a big scenario here. So you want to talk about the fact, last night, albeit I wasn't really rooting for the Saints as a Rams fan, but last night, you talk about protecting, player safety and all that. Alvin Kamara was clearly concussed. It was a helmet-to-helmet hit. The NFL has gone out of their way to protect player safety. But what happens? Well, this whole body weight thing comes out because Aaron Rodgers, the star quarterback last year, gets hurt by an Anthony Barr late hit where he lands on body weight first, whatever. They've really put a premium on the body weight on the quarterback and less about player safety. If you notice, they haven't really been flagging those as much. So the reason I bring that up, guys, is the NFL focuses on the wrong things, or they focus on the wrong things, and maybe it's not even the wrong thing, but they put too much of a premium on it and forget where they were, on their mission to begin with. I mean, we talk about the stadium noise thing. Remember when they fined the Falcons and they took a 4th-round pick away because they were pumping stadium noise in? I mean, you're now focused more on that than you are about domestic violence. I mean, we've seen Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy never should have been allowed back in the NFL, and he comes back in, and this is right after Ray Rice set a precedent. We saw film on that. Like, that was really what got this whole movement started in my eyes. It was obviously an issue, but it wasn't as highlighted of an issue. Ray Rice really made it an issue. And so then teams started to really, see everything for what it was. And I just feel like the NFL, they mean well in one way, and then they forget and they lose sight of what they're doing. So the reason I bring up player safety is very simple. It's what the NFL is today. You focus on one thing, you try to focus on another, the other one gets buried, and the other one gets, the tampering, the noise pumping. I mean, they've taken picks away, and it just seems like with the marijuana thing, you're so big on suspending guys for marijuana. I just don't think. I mean, Tom Brady, how many games did he get suspended? How many games did Greg Hardy get suspended? Like, there's no there's no order. This isn't a regulated, suspension. I mean, you mentioned the 6 games. I mean, yes, Hunt should be. He's a first-time offender, but this is different. So I feel as though, the NFL needs to do right by the fans, and I think, they need to hold him accountable for what he really is. He is an employee of the NFL. And I'm sorry, guys, but if you guys are at your day job and say a video comes out where you're striking a girl like that, and you're getting fired. But, in the NFL, it doesn't really work that way. Now, Kareem Hunt lost his job today, but Kareem Hunt's probably going to get a job down the road. And I'm not trying to be biased, guys, because I actually really liked Kareem Hunt for a while. I mean, I loved watching him play, and this really hurts. I think it hurts the league, but I think it hurts the landscape of running backs. He was one of the top ones, and it hurts people that looked up to Kareem Hunt, bought his jersey and all that. But what needs to be done needs to be done, and he needs to be held accountable. Again, I'm a firm believer in second chances, but this just feels different, guys. This doesn't feel like a college. Something went wrong in college and he learned from his mistakes. We've seen that before. Janoris Jenkins was drafted by the Rams and had no issues in the NFL, and he had a ton of off-the-field issues. He actually got kicked off of Florida, went to North Alabama. We've seen guys like that. Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, guys learn from their mistakes. Kareem Hunt's making this after a year of being pretty much the top running back in the league, arguably. I mean, that is my issue here, is that you're now in the pros and you're still making those mistakes. He had the assault charge early in his college career, but now you do it again. This is just such a bad time as well, right after the whole Reuben Foster incident. That's the thing.
And just to add to that point, that point, he plays on a team with the Chiefs. Like, you have Tyreek Hill, where Tyreek Hill had his noted domestic violence incident back when he was at Oklahoma State. But he plays on a team with guys like Travis Kelce, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Houston, you have Eric Berry. He plays on a team with a bunch of veterans that are never in trouble. They hold each other accountable on and off the field. And they make sure that everybody's doing the right thing. So the fact that, Kareem Hunt, basically, as far as off the field stuff goes, the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the organizations that you would want to walk into and feel like, I got people in my corner that are going to have my back. They're going to show me the right path, basically. And so and Travis Kelce, he's from Ohio. He's from Ohio as well, Cleveland Heights, Ohio. So it's like you have such a great support system in your teammates, you in the front office, and your coach, Andy Reid. Basically anybody you could think of in that Chiefs organization is there to help you. Whenever you want it, whenever you need it, they're there to help you. And then you find yourself in a situation like this after you'd been in trouble once before in college. You had an incident your rookie year with another man that didn't lead to any arrest or anything, but just the fact that you find yourself in a situation like this and you play on a team that with guys, like I mentioned, Justin Houston, Eric Berry, Travis Kelce, bunch of veterans that can put you on the right path and, teach you and show you how to stay out of trouble and stay out of bad situations. And you find yourself in this situation, it's not a good look for Kareem.
It's not ideal at all. And I put out this Twitter poll at Burkhart Skyler if you guys want to join in on it. I asked the question earlier today about, about 5 o'clock, so not too long ago. And I put out, should Kareem Hunt be suspended indefinitely from the NFL after the surfacing of the video? Now, since then, it's been about 3 hours. I'm at 232 votes. 67% said yes, and the 33% said no. A lot of people are upset. The people that said no because they're saying that this world. I'm upset with this world's coming to, thinking that he shouldn't be suspended indefinitely because they're supporting women being, brutally attacked or whatnot. And the yes is in the majority. With that being said, though, I think it should be yes, because there should be a no tolerance for this. There should be no second chance, like Jake said, because there's video evidence of it. He's had an assault charge before, and it's no tolerant. These are athletes that are role models for kids, and a kid now is going to be on TV on SportsCenter with their dad, and all of a sudden they're going to see this video of this guy kicking a girl, and he's like, well, what happened? He was my favorite player. Oh, we don't talk about it anymore and just brush it to the side. I mean, this is a big issue in society, and the NFL cannot be so lenient on this. And for them to also take a couple months to just lie to us, it seems like, allegedly, it really hurts us what we perceive the NFL.
So the NFL it's about money and winning most of the time, just like we talked about earlier. The Redskins picked up Reuben Foster. At the end of the day, as much as like us people and fans, like we know about domestic violence, we care about domestic violence, like we want it to get better, we want to be better as a society. But at the same time, the NFL, it's a business, and at the end of the day, they're thinking about money. So, like you said, he should be suspended indefinitely from the NFL. And once that suspension's up, you can almost guarantee that some team is going to pick him up. They're gonna do whatever they have to do to put out the PR fire. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about money and winning for the NFL. And at this point, I don't see how people can be shocked when the NFL takes a stance about money and winning. I don't know how people can be shocked when they do it, because they've done it on multiple occasions. Like, this is nothing new about the NFL taking a stance like, we care this day, but we don't care the other day. So question for we'll start with Jake and we'll go back to you, Trey. Should he be suspended indefinitely? Bottom line, should he be suspended indefinitely?
Yeah. I don't mind a team picking him up to get more information about the whole situation, but I don't believe he should be able to play.
What about you, Trey?
Yeah. At least for the rest of the season, without a doubt. And then, I mean, me personally, I'm a believer in second chances. Tyreek Hill got his second chance, and Tyreek Hill we haven't even heard as much as a parking ticket from Tyreek Hill. So it's not like people that get in trouble, can't right their wrongs and, do better. But yeah, for this season, he should be suspended indefinitely. And then, I guess take it from there, because like you said, somebody, right or wrong, somebody's gonna pick him up.
I mean, I believe in second chances too. Tyreek Hill got that. He paid his time and he came back. A lot of people still upset, with his past, but the man did his time and he's working to be a better man. And that's what you want to see in society. You want everyone to be working to be better. To kind of wrap this up, where do we stand on this with Kareem Hunt with his statement that just came out? He said, I want to apologize for my actions. I deeply regret what I did, and I hope to move on from this. I mean, is there really much to move on with the NFL? Should he move on to seek another career elsewhere? Because I'm not sure if another team picks him up. If I'm another team, this is way too much PR. Seeing the backlash that other teams got for these domestic violence and weed and all kinds of other allegations, it's not worth a negative. And especially in the world that we're in, it's not worth it. It's just simply not. So where do you guys stand on it? Jake, where do you think Kareem Hunt moves in on this? What do the Chiefs do? Especially they should be getting backlash for this, considering, they're just kind of covering tail at this point.
Well, I think the Chiefs are, they're going to be quick to, it's funny. Ben Albright mentioned this, I believe, and it was about, do they bring back Jamal Charles? Kind of a feel-good story for, this city that, unfortunately, it just went through, a big. Kareem Hunt's a huge loss to this offense. I really like Spencer Ware. I think Spencer Ware's good, but we have to keep in mind Spencer Ware's not an elite talent, and neither is Jamal Charles, but at the same time, this is going to have to be a group effort. I see Reuben Foster told you everything you need to know. Alden Smith told you everything to know. Alden Smith got another opportunity, and I'm pretty sure he had a bomb threat in an airport. So it's the NFL, you never know. It's not black and white. It just takes one guy to take a chance. You've seen it before. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Kareem Hunt will play a game again. It just won't be this year and maybe not next year.
What do you think, Trey?
I think I honestly think he'll end up on another team somewhere. Because like I said, it comes down to money for the NFL, and NFL teams want to win. Like the Redskins, as bad as that look was, like they came out with their statement and said if the police investigation turns out to be not good, then he just wouldn't play. And I guess that's how teams would spin it if they were to pick up Kareem Hunt. If the NFL's investigation or the police investigation turns out to not in the favor that you want, then he just wouldn't play. The incident in February, no charges were filed. I don't know if the police are going to, pick this investigation back up outside of the NFL's investigation. But money and winning. Teams want to win, and Kareem Hunt, like you said, is a top 3 running back in the NFL, and that much is absolutely certain. So some team they'll suffer the PR hit, but as far as on the field play, I guess somehow they'll live with it.
Last question I got for both of you. We'll start with Trey on this one. Do you think Kareem Hunt was the fall guy in this for the reason that the statement that the Chiefs ran out said, as part of our internal discussions with Kareem, several members of our management team spoke directly to him. Kareem was not truthful in those discussions. The video released today confirms the fact we're releasing Kareem immediately. Do you think we're like, all right, there's a video out. We have to let you go now. Sorry, we were going to keep you, but since the video, we knew about it, we're just going to release you. Do you think they're just letting him be the fall guy and just paying him, be like, hey, don't say anything against us?
I don't think it's that. While the Chiefs haven't been shy about cutting people that get in trouble off the field, they've also been one of the organizations that, they'll back their guys. If you are straight with them, you tell them the truth, they will back you. I honestly believe had Kareem Hunt not lied about what happened in February the first time they asked about it, they may not have, I don't think they would have cut him, because the video would have supported whatever he told them the first time. And it's kind of like when you're a little kid and your parents is like, if you tell the truth can go a long way. So yeah, I think if he not lied the first time when the Chiefs asked him about the incident, I do not believe they would have cut him, because whenever the video came out, it would have supported what he said, and the fact that he wasn't arrested, no charges were filed, and according to the body cams on the report that TMZ released, that the woman was saying all kinds of racial slurs towards Hunt and his friends. Not that excuses anything that he did, but it was, according to the body cam and what Kareem Hunt's group said, it was all kinds of crazy. But I don't fault the Chiefs for cutting him. But had he told the truth, I think this might be a different story.
What do you think on this, Jake? Do you think he's the fall guy, or do you think the Chiefs actually found out this information?
It's a combination of both, because we don't know if the Chiefs are lying about Kareem Hunt lying. We don't. And the reason I say that is because Kareem Hunt's not going to come out during his apology and say, oh, by the way, the Chiefs are lying about me lying. I never said anything. No, because the video's out there. So you're in a vulnerable state, and there's no way his agent's going to allow him to say something like that trying to back his image. Your image is already hurt. So the Chiefs can really say whatever they want in their their press release or anything like that. Kareem really can't. Kareem can't come back and say, I didn't tell them that. I didn't give them a lie. I told them what happened, and they waited until now. And I don't think it's a payoff, but I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying, like, Kareem put himself in a really bad spot where the Chiefs can realistically say whatever. I mean, he can't, again, you don't come out and say, I apologize, but the Chiefs are lying and I told them the truth. Still, does not matter. People don't want to hear that. This video just came out for the first time. Now everyone's seen it. I mean, we heard about it earlier in the year and people kind of brushed it off. Oh, it's a money grab. It just screams money grab to me, whatever. Now there's a video. Now it's not a money grab anymore. It actually happened. So I just look at it like that. I think, again, just don't put yourself in that situation. I do think the Chiefs are wrong, but I also think the Chiefs, they released him. They at least, it comes to the public eye. It's unfortunate because it seems to me like if this didn't get caught, if this video never came out, and this is why, when things leak, it's people wanting you to see and hear what is being said and what is being seen. So someone wanted this to get out for whatever reason.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's my biggest thing here, and it makes you wonder. And I'm sorry, but the Chiefs organization, would they have just sat on this like a chicken on an egg? I mean, if this never got publicized, would Kareem Hunt have gone on playing for 4, 5, 6 years, signed a contract extension, and would this all have been swept under the rug? We saw that whole thing with Ray Lewis. People still believe that he murdered somebody. And that has not gone away since, So it makes you wonder. I mean, it's not quite a murder, but it's not good. And it really makes you wonder how long the Chiefs could have dragged this out if this didn't come out, because they knew about it. And again, they can say all they want, Kareem lied and he told us initially. Yeah, but like you brought up earlier, Skyler, they could have easily, they had all that time, they could have easily dug more into it. And the NFL is wrong too.
Exactly. Definitely. If this video doesn't come out, nobody's the wiser. Because when the report came out back in February, when the incident first happened, I honestly thought the worst, but we didn't have a video. So, and no charges were filed, the whole spiel, yada, yada, yada. So I'm just like, we forget about it. Me personally, I forgot all about the incident until TMZ said we have video of what happened in February. I was like, oh man, I forgot he had an incident in February when he was back in Cleveland. And so, while the Chiefs they're 9-2 right now, and it's like all the talk was, here in a minute they're gonna have to start paying. The Chiefs are gonna have to start paying people. They're gonna have to start paying Kareem Hunt. They're gonna have to start paying Tyreek Hill. They're gonna have to pay Chris Jones. Like, we're talking about who we're gonna pay and what kind of money they're gonna get. And then this video drops, and it's like, wow, well, we totally forgot all about this incident that happened in February, and now that it's here, this is where we are.
Definitely a lot more information to come out over the weekend. Hopefully we'll get more information and maybe drop another pod, just going over this. But thank you guys for joining me. Trey, contributor for the fan side here. He's also the creator of Today with Trey podcast. Follow him on Twitter. Also Jake joining me today from Downtown Rams, owner and creator and writer for that website. Both do great work with the community as well. So thank you guys for joining me. Where can they find you, Trey? Throw your little hashtag where they can find you.
You guys can mostly find me on Twitter. Like you said, my podcast is Today with Trey, or you can find me on personal Twitter, TreyLaday23. But you can always find me in Kansas City. So
perfect. And then Jake, where can they find you at?
You can find me at JK Bogan DTR And then you can find me at Downtown Rams. I manage both Twitters. I also have a Facebook and Instagram. So I'm always open to questions. If you guys want to inbox me, have any questions whatsoever, always around. It's also great sharing the floor with you, Trey. It was fun.
It was good to share with you too, Jake. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you guys for joining me. You can follow us at the PTP Podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. Email questions to us at theptppodcast@gmail.com. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, this is your host, Skyler Burkhart, on Between the Pylons special from the Pylon to Pylon podcast. And we'll catch you again next week for the next interview. Have a good one, guys.